Here's a little trivia for you. Hembo's ready for you this morning, Dan. Here we go. Which NFL franchise has produced the most MVP quarterbacks?
Greeny, Hembo's so busy getting himself ready for beach season. He's trying to get, looking good in his swimsuit. He wants me to say the 49ers and he wants me to say the Packers, but the answer is the Colts, with Peyton Manning and Bart Starr winning a bunch of them.
He's exactly right. He got it right, even though the thinking wasn't exactly right, because it's not the most number of MVP awards. It's just the largest number of quarterbacks to win it. But it is the Colts with Johnny Unitas, Earl Morrall, Burt Jones, and Peyton Manning winning MVP. Well done, Dan Orlovsky. Do you believe, based on what you saw particularly last year, that Philip Rivers has multiple years left in the tank?
I do, Greeny, and he's got plenty of good winning football left, and now the main reason is because of where he went, and that's the Colts. We have to remind everyone that Philip Rivers is 1 year removed, one season removed from quarterbacking a 12-4 football team, throwing for 4,300 yards and 32 touchdowns. Now, what happened last year, what fell apart last year for the Chargers, was Russell Okung goes out, and then that tackle duo for the Chargers became the second worst tackle duo in the NFL when it comes to giving up pressure. He was just under so much pressure. Now he goes to Indianapolis, which has a top 3 offensive line in the NFL. He's not going to be under that pressure. So can he still throw with great timing and anticipation and touch and layering the football up and over defenders? Plenty of arm strength left. Has he seen everything that he'll possibly see from a defense? Absolutely. Now, I would say a big part of what he does this year and in the future in Indy comes down to what Michael Pittman Jr. becomes as a wide receiver. Their second-round pick out of USC from last year, because if he becomes a Cortland Sutton or an A.J. Brown or a Juju Smith-Schuster type of player, well, then Philip Rivers has a great offensive line, a very good receiver in T.Y. Hilton, and then an up-and-coming, promising young player that he has in Michael Pittman Jr. So if those pieces kind of come together, the Colts have a very good quarterback for the next 2 or 3 years in Philip Rivers.
Louis, I'd love to hear your perspective both on what Rivers can bring and if he is what Dan is suggesting he might be. Colts have the makings of a pretty good team in a division that might not be that good. Just how good could the Colts be in the AFC this year?
Well, I think overall, look, how good can the Colts be? Look, I thought their draft, led by general manager Chris Ballard, was one of the best in the NFL, if not the best in the NFL, because I think they, without a doubt, got the people that they wanted at the positions that they needed. And I think they have one of the best coaching staffs, and I have nothing but respect for Frank Reich. Look, Michael Pittman Jr. and, guys like Jonathan Taylor, who everyone knows how I feel about Jonathan Taylor, both as a person and as a player. These are young men that are very, very mature and will come in and contribute right away. So I think the Colts, along with what they already have in place, are well on their way. Now, as for Philip Rivers, look, I got to see him play live this past year, and he is someone who, in the past, I have done nothing but rave about, as far as, in particular, his football intellect and his ability to really control things at the line of scrimmage. But when I was down there in Mexico City and watched them against the Kansas City Chiefs and stood there on the sideline with Steve Young watching him, you can see a guy here at 38 years old, who's going to be 39 in December, whose skills are starting to decline. And when you look at some of the real pertinent situational statistics, whether it be tight window throws, plus 20-yard throws, red zone efficiency as far as QBR, he was in the bottom half of the league, and it looked like something where Father Time was starting to catch up on him. I myself am a little bit more skeptical as far as whether or not he can be a multiple-year player at this point, but there's no doubt they have the surrounding cast around him. But I think as far as his performance is concerned, to me, it's a wait-and-see type of thing.
I'm with you. I saw it that way as well. If he can recapture some of that magic, as Dan suggests, then it could mean big things in Indy this year. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.